I want to start today out with putting down in the comments, what are some things that you've been doing really well and you feel like is a really good win for you or a good change that you've made? Vice versa of that, what is something that you feel like you know you've not been doing well and you think that you need to work on? You guys are going to hear mine in just a minute. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jen at KetosisMom. This is now my week 31 on Zepbound. I'm going to be going over my week 30 results with all of you. I will show you my week 31 injection on the 7.5 milligram. I believe this is now my fourth injection of 7.5 milligram. We will go over any type of side effects that I've been experiencing since starting the 7.5. Of course, we're going to go over GLP-1s in the news. And today is sponsored by Armoire. This week I am the member spotlight for Armoire, so they are the sponsor for today's video. I want to remind everybody that you can get 50% off your first Armoire case plus 2 free additional bonus items by using the code LivingLargeandLily. We'll go over a little bit more about them as soon as we get started. Because we're sponsored by Armoire today, I do want to do just a quick rundown. I know that I've covered them with you all before and shown you all some of the looks that I've rented for them for well over a year now. I can swap out multiple different styles each month. I can hold on to a style if I like it. I can keep wearing it, just swap out certain items. I don't have to do laundry, which to me, I feel like is their biggest selling point on this because they are going to dry clean and take care of all the cleaning for me as soon as I send those items back for new items. Throughout the weight loss process, for me, this has been extremely important to not constantly be adding more sizes. My husband, love Joe, love him, but he's about to kill me right now because I am swapping out my summer for fall and winter clothing, and I have every size imaginable downstairs and totes coming back upstairs. So I'm trying to weed through things that are too large or that I'm never going to wear. Go ahead and get rid of those. And quite honestly, I should have just been rotating faster with my Armoire cases and not purchasing any new sizes as I was gaining weight and then also especially losing weight as well. That is a huge waste of money in my opinion. And so with Armoire case and rentals, you can swap out, you can try new sizes, you can get the size up and the size down of different things. They have a lot of really great brands. They also have a link up right now that is my own personal collection of styles that I'm going to be renting from summer moving into fall. If you would like to go look at that, I will put the link for that down below in the comments as well. Be sure to also head over to my Instagram at LivingLargeandLily and give some love on the collaboration post. That helps me get more brand deals, more discounts for all of you all in the future. Now, I'm sure some of you might have just noticed that my lovely tree over here just randomly went off. My power just went out, so that's fun today. So I'm going to start out today with my updates from last week. So I'm going to give you the results from week 30, which I lost 2.2 pounds. Yay! However, there's always a however, right? I'm going to preface this also with the fact that even though I lost that 2.2 pounds, I woke up today and something has happened since I weighed on my injection morning, and I literally have gained 4 pounds. So, not really sure what happened there. I don't know if it's coming up, it's probably that time of the month, that type of cycle. I'm retaining more water. I will really be looking forward to see what next week's results come out with and whether or not maybe there's just an error in my scale this week. But I'm going to log this as the minus 2.2 pounds that it was, regardless of what I woke up today weighing. And I will also show you all my injection from week 31. I did inject it into my abdominal area again this week on the left side. I have not had any side effects other than my typical acid reflux. Now, acid reflux for me is something that I've had ever since being pregnant, so I don't directly attribute that to these medications because it was already pre-existing before I started this. However, I do know that these medications can kind of exacerbate things like that and possibly make them worse. So I have to get better at not eating or drinking late before I lay down. We have a lot of evenings with my kids where we are out at different types of classes for them until after 7:30 at night. And so I'm not eating or drinking anything until after 7:30 at night, which is not really ideal. I try to sit up as long as I can, but then I've been kind of waking up in the middle of the night. I also am horrible, as you all know, about taking my pantoprazole medication for that and remembering it. And I have to get better at remembering all my different medications. That's my own personal thing where if I don't have an alert in my phone reminding me to go take these things, I quite often just forget and I'm too exhausted to go hunt them down. So that's just something that I personally need to get better at. And now, hands down, you guys know this is probably one of my favorite things to talk about each week. I'm just going to be very honest with you. The last week in news, I feel like has been so overrun by so many different political or financial or other things going on. There's not been a whole lot that has come out that is what I would consider new. So of course there is still all the talk about the amycretin, which came out by Novo Nordisk. It helped boost their stock price. This is the one that I went over last week that I said I'm not real sure about because while it does outperform Wegovy, which is their current weight loss medication from Novo Nordisk in a pill form, I also feel like 13.1% of your weight in 12 weeks is way too fast. And that was on the 2 of the 50 milligram tablets. And then on the 1 50 milligram tablet, which they're saying is the lower dose, they were seeing 10.4% weight loss over 12 weeks. Still, even at a 10% weight loss over that short of time, I feel like that is very stressful on the body. They're, touting this out like it's this huge win. So I'm just going to leave that alone. And my opinion is my opinion. You guys can tell me your thoughts down in the bottom. I mean, if you've previously been on Wegovy or you're on Zepbound or Tirzepatide or semaglutide or Saxenda or liraglutide or whatever it is that you're on right now, would you consider switching over to this new amycretin that has a 13% weight loss in 12 weeks? I would love to hear your all's thoughts down below because I know that everyone's going to have a different opinion about this, and that's okay. It's okay to have different opinions about it. It's just very, very fast, and I would love to see some of the weight loss professionals, at the Sequence Clinic. They have a lot of weight loss professional clinicians. I would love to see if that's something that they're going to put on their menu of options, or if they all feel like that's way too fast. That's not going to be good for people. I can't wait to see how all that plays out. I will say that I've had messages as well. This is not really in the news, right? But it is updates. I've had messages about, hey, what have you heard about this platform? Because I'm thinking about switching. They're lowering their prices. They're lowering their prices across the board. We've discussed this the past 3 weeks. I personally feel like every single compound medicine is going to be lowering their prices across the board. And here's why. Next week, Novo Nordisk, and I believe also Eli Lilly is going to be going in front of Bernie Sanders and his team. Bernie Sanders is out there saying that he and his team have personally spoken to some generic manufacturers that have said that they can make a generic form of Ozempic and Wegovy for Americans for under $100 a month. So his goal in basically this next meeting with these companies is to work out pricing. And so I think if everybody just kind of holds their horses for a minute and stops like jumping around and switching around and doing all sorts of things, you're going to see that both Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, I think, are going to basically be forced to lower their prices to the American public. I think it's going to be an out-of-pocket cost for around the $100. Because a lot of insurances are no longer going to be covering it. And so if you guys just hold on just a little bit longer, I think that that will be the new pricing. The New York Post even put out that Novo Nordisk has said that they are prepared for this and that they're ready for these negotiations and that they understand what is coming up. So just hold on, because realistically, if you can get an FDA regulated drug that is like quality tested, sterility tested, stability tested, FDA approved, regulated, check marks for $100 a month, that is already cheaper than any compounded medicine that I know of on a monthly basis right now. So hold on. We're getting there. Okay, guys? Today is just a really short video. It's just kind of an update for me. I do this weekly vlog. If you all are interested in me not doing it weekly and possibly just doing it every 2 weeks, I would love to hear in the comments down below. I know some people are used to having it weekly and having things like this going. It's really, I want to do what my audience wants, and I want to do what you guys like, and I want to talk about things that you guys want me to talk about. If you have additional ideas or you have additional concepts that you would like for me to cover, feel free to put that down in the comments below. Today, for instance, I am going to be showing how I make my dessert, right, that I eat, that is a high protein dessert. This is at a special request from someone way back on my second ever video. And instead of me trying to make a blog post with writing, I just said, you know what, I'm going to make it for you in my next blog post or my next vlog. Just go look for it so that you can physically see what I'm doing so that I don't have to try to fully explain this. So today is going to be a special recipe for one of our viewers, and I hope that you guys like it. Today's special request comes from one of my viewers that wanted to see how I make my banana pudding that I'm eating basically on a weekly basis. The first thing you're going to need, and they look two different ways just so you guys know, but this is a banana cream sugar-free Jell-O mix. You're going to want to grab a box of this. You're not going to use the entire box, just so you know. You need a banana, or you can use the frozen banana slices, whatever you guys want to use. This is the yogurt that I use. This is a Greek-style coconut milk yogurt because I have to eat things that are lactose-free now. I was previously just using one of the vanilla Greek yogurts that was higher in protein. This one, for instance, has 10 grams of protein in this little cup, so I'm going to get protein while I'm eating this dessert as well. I use Cool Whip because it is not dairy. You guys have seen the oil or cream commercials. This one is the one that I use, and I use the mini Nilla wafers. Let me show you how I mix all this up, and I promise you, you're going to love it. First thing I do is I take my container and I'm just going to line the bottom with some of these tiny little Nilla wafers. I don't put too many in here, and I try to really spread them all out along the bottom just so that they're kind of evenly spaced. You don't need much. The next thing I do is simply slice up my banana, and like I said, you guys can just get the frozen slices, and I'm going to put these bananas in between those cookies. And again, you don't need much. I'm just trying to create things that are going to be layers. I then take 1 and 2 scoops of my Cool Whip and put it over into a separate bowl. Then it's time to add in my vanilla Greek yogurt that's here. And again, I have to use the ones that are lactose free just because of my SIBO. Before I found out that I had SIBO, I was using Too Good that has low sugar. There's also some really great other ones that are really high in protein. I mean, there's some that are upwards of 25 grams of protein. I then take my Jell-O, which is again the banana cream. I'm simply just going to sprinkle this across the top because you're really just wanting to give it flavor that has the banana-y type flavor. So I'm not going to use the entire packet. I'm going to use just enough to get me the flavor that I'm looking for. And then you're just going to stir it all together. And of course, yes, I'm sure that there's people who bake and cook all the time that's going, oh my gosh, why would you make it that way? And again, this is just because I'm trying to make like single one-off type desserts that are also high in protein for myself. I've also done this with the chocolate pudding mix before as well. Also, just get the vanilla yogurt. You could also get like a coconut flavored yogurt, and then you would have like a coconut chocolate pie that you could make, and then get the teeny tiny little single serving pie crust that are made out of graham crackers. They do have some of those that are made with almond crust or like pecans as well, if you're trying to stay away from grain in general. You're basically just looking for a very creamy, fluffy type consistency. You can additionally put in here a banana extract or a vanilla extract as well as another step if you really like flavor, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to start layering this. So typically, because it's just me eating this, I only do this one single layer because I'm not trying to like be fancy. I'm not trying to like impress anybody. I'm just trying to make myself like a small dessert that I can come get a couple of spoonfuls out of it. Or if I'm just really craving it and really hungry, I will eat this entire thing for the full 10 grams of protein. However, I have noticed that I typically only eat about half of this, maybe not even half. And then my youngest daughter comes and basically cleans it up if she hasn't also seen me making this and then also made her own as well. Now that I'm on the top layer, I really just kind of try to make it pretty for myself. Trying to use minimal, little cookies as possible. I do kind of like how the cookies will get a little bit soggy in this, so I don't ever eat it right away. I will put it in the fridge just so that everything can get a little soft and mushy, especially the cookies that are down on the bottom of this. But again, this is probably my favorite quote unquote dessert to make, just because I'm using something that is lactose free, dairy free. It has high protein. There are still like your probiotic, prebiotic cultures in this type of yogurt. And again, just your typical Kroger, Walmart, anything like that is going to have this type of yogurt. I'm only going to do this last step because this is what my daughter likes to do. She likes to put one little dollop of the whipped cream just right here in the middle, just to make it kind of look pretty. And then she'll normally sprinkle like a little bit of cinnamon or something right there on top. But for me, I'm just going to kind of crush up a cookie just to make it look kind of pretty. And this is my like fancy, low carb. Used to make it keto and sugar free, but it is now high protein. Very, very good. And this makes a giant container. I mean, if you can eat this whole thing, I promise you're going to feel sick afterwards. Tell me in the comments down below if you would try this. I want to thank everybody for joining today. As always, you can hit subscribe as well as the bell on this channel, and it will notify you anytime I have new videos. You can follow me over on Instagram at Living Large and Lily, and also at KetosisMom, depending on what type of content you like. I'm also on Like to Know It at Living Large and Lily. That is where I put up the majority of my shopping features. I have been starting to upload them over on YouTube for the sole purpose of copyright. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you guys like them, great. If you don't, they're really just there so that I own and maintain the copyright of my videos, because I'm kind of tired of people stealing them and then going and uploading them to platforms as if they're own. So I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for following me on all the platforms. And if you have a little bit of time today, make sure that you go and show some love on this post on Instagram at Living Large and Lily. You can also find it on Facebook at Living Large and Lily, or directly on Armoire Styles clothing rental page. Bye, everybody.